thank you for rejecting this recall.
Right now at 11 o'clock, recall rejected. Governor Newsom is keeping his job.
We said yes to science. We said yes to vaccine. We said yes to ending this pandemic.
The vote wasn't close, but we will show you how each Bay Area county voted tonight.
The governor's top challenger, Republican Larry Elder, addressing his supporters in the past 20 minutes.
We may have lost the battle, but we are going to win the war.
What the conservative talk show host says is next for him.
And was there really anything to worry about in terms of safety and any fraud? We check with election officials how they say they're protecting your ballots.
Good evening. We begin with team coverage on this election night. California saying no to the recall. So what comes next? Governor
Newsom will remain in office, and late tonight, Larry Elder already talking about the future. Keep in mind, the next election for governor here in California is next year at this hour. Let's start with the latest numbers on the ballot. The simple question was, should Governor Newsom be recalled? With more than half of the precincts reporting, here are the numbers. 66% said no on the recall, 34% said yes. Both NBC News and the Associated Press called this race in the 8 p.m. hour.
NBC Bay Area's Terry McSweeney joins us in Sacramento, where the governor spoke earlier tonight from California's Democratic headquarters.
And Terry, we've seen a lot of these election night victories for the Governor Newsom and Mayor Newsom over the years. Tonight, though, a lot different. No party, no victory speech, really just a message to Californians.
A lot of business, but also some emotion. Yeah, the governor came here to the Democratic headquarters in Sacramento shortly after, as you mentioned, NBC News and some other outlets had declared that he had defeated the recall effort. You could probably hear that sigh of relief from Eureka all the way down to San Diego. The governor talking about what this meant. He was saying it was a defeat for Trumpism, a victory for science, vaccines, women, and fair elections. Now, we did hear that on the campaign trail. But towards the end of the speech this evening, he choked up a bit while referencing one of his political heroes, Bobby Kennedy. Listen to this.
Tonight, I'm humbled, grateful, but resolved in the spirit of my political hero, Robert Kennedy, to make more gentle the life of this world. Thank you all very much, and thank you to 40 million Americans, 40 million Californians, and thank you for rejecting this recall.
That is a gentler side to the governor than you usually see, but then again, there was a lot on the line. This could have been the end of the governor's political career, but as it turns out, it wasn't even close. Live in Sacramento, Terry McSweeney, NBC Bay Area News.
Thank you so much, Terry. Well, question number one on the ballot, should Gavin Newsom be recalled? We know Californians said no. But question number two was, if he is recalled, who should replace him? Right now, with all the votes counted so far, top Republican challenger Larry Elder nabbed the top spot with 44%. Democrat Kevin Paffrath came in second with 11%. Then Kevin Faulconer, Republican, with 9%, and Democrat Brandon Ross with 6%.
NBC's Garvin Thomas also with us tonight. Larry Elder just got off the stage down in Orange County a few minutes ago. We both listened to that speech, Garvin. It's not like this is the end. It seemed like it was just the beginning for Larry Elder here.
That's true. And also, as you mentioned with Gavin Newsom, this wasn't a regular election, so this wasn't a traditional concession speech. Larry Elder, as we said, just got off the stage just a few minutes ago. Elder did not congratulate the governor. He did admit, though, that they lost the battle, but immediately followed it with, "We will certainly win the war."
We are forcing them now to pay attention to the problem of homelessness. We are forcing them now to do a better job on schools. We are forcing them now to do a better job on clearing our forests. We're forcing them now to do a better job about energy. We are forcing them now to pay attention to the things they should have paid attention to 2 years ago.
Elder, whose campaign had made unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud before the ballot counting even began, made no mention of that during his speech. And with a hint towards a possible run for the governor in the next election, well, Elder finished his speech by saying, "Stay tuned." Raj and Janelle?
We will stay tuned indeed.
Well, despite warnings of voter fraud with no evidence whatsoever, election officials wanted to be very transparent tonight with the ballot process, how they're keeping your vote safe.
Let's bring in NBC Bay Area's Ian Cull, who joins us from the Santa Clara County Registrar of Voters. And Ian, I believe you're going to take us behind the scenes. What are you seeing? What do we need to know?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you here in the South Bay, they're just wrapping up, just have in the past few minutes. The ballots that still need to be counted are in a secure room protected by security guards. And even though that we have called the race, every vote will be counted. We'll go to some video that from just a couple of hours ago where elections officers picked up the ballots from the 100 drop-off locations throughout Santa Clara County, brought them here tonight. This is happening all over the state. The envelopes go through signature verification by machine and a staff member. Then the ballots are put in a stack and taken to the high security counting room. Only a few people have access to that, and there are cameras at every step.
Our county takes pride in the security of the ballot and of our vote center workers, of our staff. As far as the ballot, there's always two people that follow the ballot no matter what. If they're walking across the building from there to there are two people holding that ballot.
Now, if you voted weeks ago, your ballot already went through that process and was tallied before today, but it's only tonight at 8 that the first results were revealed. That's why you saw such high numbers coming in right away. And here in Santa Clara County, the most populous in the Bay Area, there's about a million registered voters. Turnout so far around 55%. Live in San Jose, Ian Cole, NBC Bay Area News.
Okay, Ian, thank you. What makes this fascinating, this is certainly not the end for Governor Newsom. He's in the prime of his political career, not the end for Larry Elder. Let's bring in Dan V. Lee, Assistant Professor of Political Science at Cal State East Bay, and our own political analyst, Larry Gerson, who's writing a book on this recall. Larry, you have a lot to write about. And things change so quickly here. Does tonight now, and this was a different conversation from a couple hours ago, does tonight elevate Gavin Newsom perhaps to another term or even a higher office?
There's no doubt about it that he's in a much stronger position to get renominated and reelected. Any Democrat who thought, well, perhaps if he shows some weakness tonight, I'll jump in, is no longer going to do that. This is his. The nomination's his, and he comes from a position of strength. He may have some problems fundraising only because it's a big election next year. Remember, all the congressional offices, all the assembly offices, half the state senate, all the statewide. And so he's already raised $80 million this year. He put some of that away for next year. But that may be his biggest challenge. Other than that, look, Newsom is the governor of the largest state in the country. Newsom beat back an attempt to take him out of office. He beat it soundly. He's a force in national politics, much more a force than he was before tonight.
Larry, he addressed his really the state, but did you have a sense there? He was also talking to CNN, MSNBC, and Fox, who also took his speech tonight. About 15 minutes. Was he speaking to the country?
He said, hear me. You don't have to put up with Donald Trump. Hear me. You can set out ambitious goals and meet them. Hear me. You need leadership to get that done. Here I am.
Yeah, I want to bring in Dan V now. Dan V, this is the first recall in almost 20 years. Gray Davis was recalled in 2003. Governor Newsom kept his position tonight. Will we see future recall races in the future, especially because the country is so divided? Could we see more of these recall elections in the future?
I wouldn't be surprised if we do see more of them. There is a conversation now about changing the recall process because it is much too easy to start the recall. So there's been conversation about raising the threshold for how many signatures are needed and moving from a plurality of the who should take office from a plurality to a majority vote. But all of that really has to be on a ballot measure. Recalls are really, they cost a lot of money. And I think that's something that taxpayers have to take into account. But if the process is changed, then I'm hoping that we won't see as many recalls just because it really does put a stop to legislating, and it's a lot of money that's being spent.
Davy, this recall election was on all the cable outlets nationally, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. What does this election here in this state mean in terms of national politics?
You know, they say where California goes, the country goes. And yes, it's been a national news story. I get texts from my friends from other states also asking me, like, what's going on. So it has garnered a lot of national interest. And I think that it highlights that what Gavin Newsom has done in California in terms of his policies with the pandemic is something that President Biden can also say, like, well, if it works in California, Californians didn't turn against Gavin, then he can also take cue from that.
Quite a spectacle. Thank you, Professor Lee. Thank you, Larry Gersten, as well. Good luck with that book, by the way. We're interested to read that when it's finished.
Thank you both. Well, we are posting real-time results on our website. You can explore them on this interactive map, which shows statewide and county-by-county results. Just go to NBCBayArea.com/recall.
Our election coverage continues in about 60 seconds. Still ahead, we heard from Larry Elder, but what's next for the Republican Party? A former chairman of the California GOP weighs in.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Jeff Ranieri, tracking the cool down and the rainfall I know you want. Details on this and where it's headed in about 8 minutes.
And a new mandate. The Bay Area county that's changing the rules and will soon require proof of vaccination to enter restaurants and gyms.
So how did each Bay Area county vote? There were some differences in the vote and the numbers. Take a look and look for your county.
The vaccines came fast, so why is a COVID cure taking so long? And if you catch it, what can doctors do?
It feels great to be able to say, hey, we have a medication that's safe, that's effective.
But it's not approved for everyone. We investigate promising new treatments.
You're telling me in cells, you're able to completely eliminate COVID-19?
Pretty much, yeah. And the roadblocks causing the U.S. to fall behind other countries in the race for a cure. Wednesday at 11 on NBC Bay Area News.